One of the biggest pop stars in the world, handcuffed on a sidewalk in Los Angeles. But was it a legal takedown or a targeted ambush? Tonight, we dig deep into the shocking arrest of Lil Nas X and uncover what really happened beyond the flashing lights and viral headlines. The shocking arrest of Lil Nas X, a night that shook Hollywood. Good evening from Los Angeles, where yet another chapter in the ever-turbulent world of celebrity has taken center stage. The entertainment industry is once again rocked by a headline that has sparked endless debate across platforms: the unexpected arrest of global music icon Lil Nas X. On a quiet Tuesday evening, what began as a routine dinner at an upscale restaurant in West Hollywood escalated into an incident that captivated the world in mere hours. According to eyewitnesses, around 8 p.m. local time, the artist was seen exiting the venue accompanied by his assistant, only to be approached moments later by a police cruiser. While the initial interaction appeared civil, things took a dramatic turn when the officers requested identification and documentation. Witnesses recall a tense exchange, with Lil Nas X seen gesturing in what many interpreted as a defensive manner, not aggressive but assertive. From afar, cameras caught the sharp change in atmosphere as officers attempted to restrain the artist. A brief scuffle ensued, punctuated by the artist's loud exclamation, "I didn't do anything," as he was placed in handcuffs and escorted to the patrol car. Within minutes, video footage surfaced online, spreading like wildfire across social media, igniting a global storm of speculation. What exactly triggered this confrontation? Was it a case of misunderstanding, profiling, or justified enforcement? These questions have since become the subject of both journalistic inquiry and online debate. As the world watched the viral footage, opinions splintered rapidly. While some viewers defended the officers' actions, citing law enforcement protocol, others rallied in support of Lil Nas X, questioning the necessity and proportionality of the response. The incident, though brief in real time, unfolded across a digital landscape in ways no one could have anticipated, setting the tone for a narrative battle that is far from over. Our team has compiled exclusive footage, collected testimony from those present, and spoken with legal analysts to understand how this incident might impact not just the career but also the legacy of one of music's most polarizing and celebrated figures. Tonight, we begin our special coverage with the complete reconstruction of the event, examining every angle and voice to deliver the story behind the headlines. This is not just another celebrity brush with the law. It is a moment that could redefine public discourse about justice, fame, and accountability in the digital era. The official police report, charges, and contradictions. The Los Angeles Police Department wasted no time in releasing an official statement following the incident that has since dominated headlines and sparked international debate. According to the document obtained by our newsroom, authorities formally charged the Grammy-winning artist Lil Nas X with two primary allegations: obstruction of justice and resisting arrest. The report details a seemingly routine traffic stop gone awry outside a high-end restaurant in Beverly Hills, where officers claimed the artist refused to comply with a lawful request to present identification and vehicle registration. Instead, the report alleges he responded with hostility, offering rhetorical questions, escalating in tone, and ultimately refusing to cooperate. The LAPD further asserts that as officers attempted to place him in custody, Lil Nas X physically resisted, leading to what they classified as a necessary use of force. The report includes verbatim statements from the involved officers, emphasizing their claim that the artist's behavior posed a risk to public safety and disrupted lawful procedure. It's important to note that this official narrative was released within hours of the incident going viral on social media, clearly an attempt to control public perception and establish legal justification for their actions. However, scrutiny quickly followed. Critics and legal experts pointed out notable inconsistencies between the report's tone and the widely circulated amateur videos filmed by bystanders. In those clips, Lil Nas X appears to be speaking with relative composure, gesturing with open palms, a universally recognized symbol of peaceful intent. Furthermore, legal analysts noted that the rapid release of such a detailed report could indicate a preemptive defensive posture by the LAPD, especially given the high-profile nature of the individual involved. The charges themselves have also sparked contention. While obstruction of justice is a serious accusation, it is also one frequently used in cases where the suspect challenges authority verbally rather than through overt criminal behavior. Resisting arrest, similarly, is often cited in arrests that already appear controversial, leading some civil rights groups to question whether these charges were levied as a means of deflecting scrutiny from the officer's own conduct. What's more, the police report makes no mention of the presence of cameras, both from bystanders and the store's CCTV footage that later surfaced, raising questions about whether law enforcement was fully transparent in their account. Even more concerning to watchdog groups is the report's absence of detail about use of force protocols, which under California law must be explicitly documented when a suspect is physically restrained. As this story continues to evolve, the official police statement is quickly becoming a focal point in the broader debate, not merely for what it claims, but for what it omits. As of this broadcast, legal analysts, public figures, and community leaders alike are demanding an independent review of the case, suggesting that transparency and accountability must prevail in determining whether this was lawful policing or a clear overreach of power cloaked in legal jargon. Eyewitness accounts versus police narrative. While the official police report attempted to solidify a particular narrative surrounding the arrest of Lil Nas X, eyewitness accounts have painted a far more complex and contradictory picture, one that challenges the very foundation of the LAPD's version of events. Several individuals who claim to have witnessed the incident firsthand have come forward with accounts that suggest the superstar was neither combative nor uncooperative during the police interaction. One witness, a middle-aged flower vendor working just across the street from the restaurant where the incident occurred, stated that the artist appeared calm and composed, even as tensions with officers visibly rose. He wasn't shouting or cursing. He was talking with his hands, but that's not the same as resisting, the vendor told us, clearly shaken by what she described as a disproportionate use of force. Another eyewitness, a teenager who was documenting the night for a vlog, captured the initial minutes of the interaction on his smartphone. The footage, reviewed by our team but not officially released due to legal constraints, appears to show Lil Nas X standing next to his car with both hands visible and speaking in a measured tone. In contrast to the police statement that described his demeanor as hostile and provocative, the teen's video suggests a civil, albeit emotionally charged, exchange. These testimonials have raised serious doubts about the legitimacy of the obstruction and resisting arrest charges, prompting legal experts to urge caution in accepting the police report at face value. Moreover, the absence of body cam footage from the officers involved, still unaccounted for days after the arrest, has only fueled suspicions of potential misconduct. Public trust in law enforcement transparency is being tested as a growing number of witnesses step forward with statements that seem to contradict the authorities' official timeline and tone. Perhaps the most damning account came from a retired veteran living in an apartment above the incident site, who recounted the commotion in a letter sent to our station. "I've seen my fair share of police action, and what I witnessed that night was not procedure, it was panic," he wrote, alleging that the arresting officers appeared agitated from the outset, shouting commands in a manner he described as militarized rather than procedural. All of these accounts have intensified the narrative conflict, pushing the public to question whose version of events deserves credibility. It's no longer just a legal issue, it's a matter of public perception, integrity, and the power of civilian voice in the face of institutional authority. These conflicting testimonies have also been amplified by viral video clips online, with millions of viewers drawing their own conclusions in the court of public opinion. In many ways, the battle over what really happened that night on the sidewalk of Los Angeles is as much a fight for truth as it is a reflection of modern tensions between law enforcement and celebrity culture. As this story continues to develop, the importance of independent investigations and corroborated evidence becomes even more critical, because in an era where every phone is a camera and every bystander is a potential witness, the truth has more than one voice, and more eyes than ever before. The social media explosion. In the hours following the arrest of Lil Nas X, social media platforms transformed into battlegrounds of public opinion, amplifying every frame of blurry footage and every speculative comment into a global conversation. What began as a localized confrontation on a Los Angeles sidewalk quickly snowballed into an international phenomenon, driven by the sheer velocity of digital outrage and fandom allegiance. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit were immediately flooded with hashtags such as #FreeLilNasX, #JusticeForNas, and #WhatReallyHappened, all of which trended globally within hours of the incident. Memes, commentary videos, fan art, and deeply divided takes began to circulate with staggering speed. On TikTok, a 15-second video showing the artist shouting, "I didn't do anything," during the scuffle amassed over 20 million views in under 12 hours, accompanied by emotionally charged duets and commentary dissecting every body movement. On Twitter, influencers, activists, and celebrities began weighing in, some condemning the LAPD's actions as a blatant abuse of power, while others called for caution, urging fans to wait for the full facts to emerge. Instagram live sessions hosted by fans and independent creators became mini town halls, drawing thousands of viewers who debated whether the incident reflected systemic injustice or simply a misunderstanding escalated by celebrity status. Reddit threads dissected timelines and body language, while YouTube exploded with long-form analyses and opinion pieces with titles like "Why Lil Nas X's Arrest Matters More Than You Think" and "The Truth Behind the Viral AGT Star's Arrest." Even political commentators and advocacy groups joined the fray, turning the arrest into a flashpoint for larger discussions about race, privilege, police conduct, and media manipulation. The polarization was stark. On one side, those who saw the incident as part of a disturbing pattern of law enforcement disproportionately targeting black celebrities. On the other, those who interpreted it as another case of a public figure resisting lawful instruction. The viral nature of the content ensured that no corner of the internet was left untouched, as fanbases mobilized to defend their icon while critics seized the moment to question his behavior and intentions. Brands affiliated with Lil Nas X began facing pressure to respond, and some even paused advertising campaigns featuring him as a precautionary measure. Meanwhile, Lil Nas X's own social media went silent, a move that only deepened curiosity and intensified speculation. In the digital age, silence often speaks louder than words, and this strategic quiet left a vacuum that was quickly filled by fan theories, leaked footage, and emotional testimonies from those who claimed to have been nearby. This digital firestorm transformed the arrest from a legal matter into a full-blown cultural event, reflecting how social media now plays an outsized role not just in reporting stories, but in shaping their narratives, assigning blame, and in some cases rewriting reputations in real time. For Lil Nas X, the internet wasn't just reacting to his arrest, it was redefining what that arrest meant, spinning the raw facts into 1,000 personalized truths and igniting a wave of attention that no traditional media outlet could have ever manufactured alone. Celebrity reactions and industry fallout. As the fallout from Lil Nas X's arrest continued to ripple across the internet, the entertainment industry itself began to respond, sparking a wave of celebrity commentary, corporate caution, and behind-the-scenes recalibrations. Within 24 hours, major figures in music, television, and film had weighed in, some with words of solidarity, others with more measured, diplomatic responses. Artists like Doja Cat, Billie Eilish, and Tyler, the Creator, posted cryptic yet pointed messages on Instagram stories that fans quickly connected to the incident, while outspoken rapper Cardi B took to Twitter with a direct statement: "Y'all better open your eyes. They love to lock up our loudest voices. Free Nas." Meanwhile, veteran entertainers such as Queen Latifah and Pharrell Williams issued public calls for fairness and due process, subtly condemning the aggressive police behavior without inflaming tensions further. The incident also provoked a reaction from outside the music world. Actor and comedian Kevin Hart shared a video message urging fans to support Lil Nas X, but stay grounded in facts, while late-night hosts like Stephen Colbert and Trevor Noah included segments about the arrest, using satire to underscore the seriousness of the issue. The industry's response wasn't limited to public statements. Multiple brands and sponsors quietly began reassessing their contracts and public affiliations with Lil Nas X. A luxury fashion house that had recently featured him in a high-profile campaign reportedly paused all related content pending a full review of the situation, and a major streaming service subtly pulled planned promotional material for his upcoming documentary. Sources close to several industry PR firms revealed that behind closed doors, there was a scramble to either distance or reframe affiliations with the star, reflecting the entertainment sector's tightrope walk between public support and risk mitigation. At the same time, several LGBTQ+ advocacy groups stood firmly behind Lil Nas X, releasing joint statements declaring that the incident reeked of institutional bias and calling for systemic reform within law enforcement. These endorsements offered not only moral support but also recentered the narrative around Lil Nas X's identity as a black, openly gay artist, something his supporters say has long made him a target for scrutiny. Industry insiders confirmed that discussions were already underway about how the incident might affect upcoming awards, red carpet invitations, and booking opportunities. Publicists, agents, and talent managers across Hollywood were reportedly revising their crisis protocols, using the arrest as a case study in how quickly reputational damage can spiral in the age of viral media. In essence, Lil Nas X's arrest had become more than a headline. It was now a litmus test for where celebrities, corporations, and the industry as a whole stood on issues of race, power, and visibility. The entertainment world, often quick to embrace its stars during triumph, was now being asked, how will it respond when one of its brightest is brought down not by scandal of his own making, but by an encounter with the very system he's long sought to challenge? Legal proceedings and public statements. As media coverage intensified and public opinion remained divided, the legal machinery began moving swiftly in the aftermath of Lil Nas X's dramatic arrest. Within 48 hours, his legal team officially filed a motion for a preliminary hearing, challenging the basis of his detention and asserting multiple civil liberties violations. The defense's lead attorney, a seasoned civil rights litigator with a history of high-profile wins, held a press conference outside the Los Angeles County Courthouse. Before a sea of flashing cameras, he declared, "This is not just about Lil Nas X. It's about the right of every citizen to be treated with dignity and without prejudice." He emphasized that the charges, including obstruction of justice and resisting arrest, were factually inaccurate and constitutionally troubling. The legal team cited eyewitness statements, discrepancies in the officer's body cam footage, and the now viral CCTV video as primary evidence suggesting misconduct. At the same time, the prosecution appeared undeterred, insisting that officers followed proper protocol and stating their confidence that the evidence would stand up in court. As the two sides prepared for a potential legal showdown, Lil Nas X broke his silence with a personal statement posted to his social media accounts. In the note, written in lowercase letters with raw, emotional candor, he said, "I was scared. Not just for me, but for every kid who looks like me, acts like me, and feels like the world doesn't want them to win." The post racked up millions of likes and shares within hours, reigniting support from fans and fellow artists. Later that day, he released a short video message from his home, looking solemn but composed. "I won't be silenced," he said, "and I won't stop using my voice to call out injustice." His statement shifted the tone of the discourse, transforming him from a controversial figure caught in a PR firestorm into a symbol of resilience and protest. Legal analysts began appearing on major news outlets, weighing the strength of both sides' arguments and speculating about whether the city might settle rather than risk a highly publicized trial. Behind closed doors, insiders whispered about the possibility of a federal civil rights lawsuit if the local courts failed to drop the charges. Meanwhile, petitions calling for the dismissal of the case quickly gained traction, collecting over 500,000 signatures in just 3 days. As Lil Nas X's legal defense intensified, media narratives evolved from scandal to potential vindication. For every tabloid headline declaring his downfall, there were now editorials praising his courage and op-eds framing the incident as a watershed moment in the intersection of fame, race, and police accountability. As one columnist put it, "What we're watching is no longer a legal case, it's a cultural reckoning unfolding in real time." Cultural impact and community response? In the days following Lil Nas X's arrest and the eruption of viral footage that captivated a global audience, the cultural shockwaves became undeniable. Across urban centers and suburban neighborhoods alike, his detainment sparked a dialogue far beyond the immediate circumstances of that single Los Angeles street corner. Major newspapers and cultural critics began treating the event not merely as a celebrity misstep or a legal hiccup, but as a modern flashpoint in America's long-standing struggle with racial profiling, LGBTQ+ representation, and the treatment of high-profile figures under the law. Town halls were organized in Atlanta, New York, and Chicago, where activists and community members discussed the deeper implications of what Lil Nas X represented. Not just a pop star in cuffs, but a young, unapologetically queer black man confronting the limits of fame as both armor and target. Universities hosted panels titled Pop, Power, and Prejudice, analyzing how societal biases play out when identity and celebrity intersect. Hashtags like #WeAreNas and #ProtectBlackQueerArt trended globally, prompting influential voices in music, film, and politics to speak out. The NAACP issued a statement supporting the call for a full investigation into the conduct of the LAPD, citing the dangerous intersection of racial injustice and celebrity exploitation. Meanwhile, the Human Rights Campaign praised Lil Nas X for his resilience and used the incident to amplify its ongoing campaign against discriminatory policing. Even within the music industry, the impact was palpable. Artists from Billie Eilish to Kendrick Lamar voiced their solidarity, while hip-hop circles engaged in a deeper reckoning about the double standard faced by openly queer performers. Radio hosts debated whether Nas's identity intensified the media storm, and journalists began drawing parallels to past incidents involving other black celebrities, from Prince to Kanye West, pointing to a historical pattern of media vilification when fame challenges the status quo. Simultaneously, fans mobilized with unprecedented creativity, producing artwork, songs, spoken word pieces, and even protest fashion inspired by the arrest. A mural of Lil Nas X in handcuffs, painted in Brooklyn with the phrase, "still standing" beneath it, became a viral image symbolizing both resistance and visibility. While critics continued to dissect his behavior during the incident, it was clear that the cultural conversation had moved beyond the particulars of one arrest. Lil Nas X had, perhaps unwillingly, become a case study in how art, activism, and identity collide in the public sphere. His image, once confined to music charts and red carpets, was now etched into the broader narrative of social justice and entertainment, and the movement behind him showed no signs of slowing down. Media coverage and misinformation. As the arrest of Lil Nas X gripped headlines worldwide, the media ecosystem quickly transformed into a battleground of narratives, with mainstream outlets, digital tabloids, independent bloggers, and social media commentators all scrambling to shape public perception. Major networks aired continuous coverage, some portraying the artist as a defiant celebrity unwilling to cooperate with law enforcement, while others framed him as a victim of systemic injustice. However, what became alarmingly clear in the aftermath was the sheer volume of conflicting information being disseminated, some accurate, others blatantly misleading. Within hours of the incident, several tabloid sites published exaggerated claims, including unfounded rumors about drug possession and fabricated eyewitness accounts suggesting that Lil Nas X had physically assaulted a police officer. Claims that were swiftly debunked but not before being shared tens of thousands of times across platforms. Conservative talk shows leveraged the story to push narratives about celebrity entitlement and disrespect for authority, while liberal commentators highlighted it as a textbook example of the criminalization of Black success. Meanwhile, social media became both a catalyst for truth and a conduit for chaos. Misinformation spread rapidly through reposted clips taken out of context, voiceover videos with misleading captions, and AI-generated imagery purporting to show scenes that never occurred. One particularly viral tweet falsely claimed that Lil Nas X had fled the scene and led police on a short chase, an assertion that was later disproven through security footage but had already cemented itself in the minds of millions. Independent journalists attempted to restore balance by publishing verified timelines and cross-referencing multiple sources, but the damage was difficult to undo in a media landscape more reactive than reflective. Fact-checking organizations issued corrections, but the speed of virality far outpaced the mechanisms of accountability. Even reputable outlets struggled with consistency, with some retracting or editing stories as new details emerged. The dissonance between what viewers saw in raw footage and what they read in polished headlines created a fog of uncertainty, leaving the public confused about what actually happened. Lil Nas X's team criticized several media platforms for failing to uphold ethical journalism standards, accusing them of clickbait tactics and implicit bias. This scrutiny reignited long-standing debates about how media portrays Black male celebrities, particularly those who challenge gender norms, and the responsibilities of the press in the digital age. As the days passed, it became evident that this wasn't just a case of clashing opinions but a systemic failure to distinguish truth from spin. The Lil Nas X arrest became a cautionary tale not only about the volatility of fame but about how swiftly information, both factual and false, can spiral into a storm that reshapes public consciousness. In an era where perception often trumps reality, the media's role in narrating this event proved to be as consequential as the event itself. Legal developments and upcoming court case. As tensions continue to rise and the media firestorm shows no signs of slowing, the legal machinery surrounding Lil Nas X's arrest begins to unfold in a manner that could have long-term implications, not just for the artist himself but for the larger discourse surrounding celebrity accountability, police conduct, and public perception. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office officially filed 2 misdemeanor charges against Lil Nas X: obstruction of justice and resisting arrest, both of which carry potential penalties of up to 1 year in county jail and a significant fine. Legal experts quickly weighed in, some suggesting that the charges appeared inflated given the available evidence, while others argued that the DA had little choice but to proceed given the high-profile nature of the case. In response, Lil Nas X's legal team filed a formal plea of not guilty and immediately launched a counteroffensive that included a request for the full release of unedited body cam footage from all officers involved, as well as security footage from surrounding businesses. At a press conference held outside the courthouse, his lead attorney delivered a pointed statement. "This is not just a legal battle, it's a fight for fairness, transparency, and the right to exist without being targeted." The case is now heading toward a preliminary hearing, expected to draw national attention, with courtroom seats likely to be filled by journalists, supporters, critics, and possibly even fellow celebrities. Behind the scenes, both legal camps are building their narratives. The prosecution is expected to lean heavily on police testimonies and procedural justifications, while the defense aims to dismantle the credibility of the arrest by pointing to conflicting eyewitness reports, inconsistencies in police accounts, and the now public CCTV footage that appears to challenge the official version of events. Outside the courtroom, public interest groups such as the ACLU and Black Lives Matter have voiced their intent to monitor the proceedings, citing concerns over potential bias in the judicial process, particularly when it comes to high-profile black men accused of low-level offenses. Meanwhile, legal analysts have noted that the court's handling of this case could set a precedent for how viral celebrity arrests are judged in a digital-first era, where public opinion is shaped before the first piece of evidence is even presented in court. In tandem, social media remains a volatile arena, with influencers and legal commentators live streaming updates, dissecting every filing and speculating about the trial's possible outcomes. For Lil Nas X, the stakes are enormous. A conviction could derail ongoing projects, stain his public image, and limit future brand collaborations, while an acquittal might bolster his reputation as a resilient figurehead of resistance. Yet no matter the verdict, one thing is certain: the upcoming court battle is not just about what happened on that Los Angeles sidewalk. It is about how society interprets authority, fame, and justice when the lines between them are increasingly blurred. The impact on Lil Nas X's career and legacy. As the legal drama surrounding Lil Nas X unfolds, the ripple effects on his career and public legacy are already becoming evident, signaling a pivotal moment in the trajectory of one of the most polarizing yet celebrated artists of this generation. While the courtroom will ultimately decide the legal outcome, the court of public opinion has been in session since the night of his arrest, and its verdict, though not unanimous, is undeniably influential. On one side, Lil Nas X's fanbase has grown more fervent, transforming him from a global pop star into a symbol of resistance, individuality, and courage under fire. The incident has deepened his resonance with marginalized communities, particularly young Black LGBTQ+ audiences who see their own struggles reflected in his very public confrontation with authority. Hashtags supporting him continue to trend, and fan art, tribute songs, and think pieces paint him as a modern-day David facing a systemic Goliath. On the other hand, industry insiders admit to a quiet unease among certain corporate partners, brand executives, and television networks, all wary of being pulled into controversy. While no major endorsement deals have been officially terminated, several campaigns featuring Lil Nas X have been put on hold, pending the outcome of the trial. A prominent music label executive, speaking anonymously, admitted that while Lil Nas X remains a cultural juggernaut, controversy sells, but legal baggage can complicate partnerships, especially when politics are involved. Nevertheless, the artist seems undeterred. In fact, sources close to Lil Nas X reveal that he's already in the studio, channeling his emotions into a new body of work expected to directly address the arrest, the backlash, and the broader implications of his experience. This forthcoming project could serve as a defining chapter in his discography, one that elevates him from chart-topping performer to cultural commentator. Historically, artists who have faced public scrutiny and emerged with powerful creative statements, from Tupac Shakur to Lady Gaga, have only solidified their legacies. For Lil Nas X, the outcome could be similar if he plays it right. Cultural critics suggest that regardless of the trial's result, this episode will be remembered as a crucible moment, a trial not just in the legal sense, but a test of resilience, identity, and artistry. His response, both legally and creatively, will shape not only his brand but the way history remembers him. The stakes are high. A vindicated Lil Nas X could redefine the playbook for celebrity activism in the digital age, turning controversy into cultural capital. But a misstep could alienate fans, embolden detractors, and permanently color perceptions of his legacy. In the meantime, his name continues to dominate headlines, his voice echoes in digital discourse, and his story, with all its drama, tension, and symbolism, cements itself as one of the most compelling narratives in modern pop culture history. Regardless of the verdict, it's clear: Lil Nas X has crossed a threshold, and what lies ahead will either make or remake him entirely. If you're as stunned as we are and want to know the full story the media won't tell you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, so you won't miss any updates as this story continues to unfold. Share this video to keep the conversation going.